We're blessed to be the youngest child. How many youngest siblings do we have in here? Ah, we got quite a few, huh? Yeah, okay. And what about the wonderful spot, the middle child? That was me. I'm a middle child. Yep, the hearts. Give me the hearts for middle child. Thumbs up, it doesn't matter. That's right. Cool in the game. All right. And then what about if you were the only child? The only child. All right. Good. Here's why I bring those up, because what they all have in common is that these are the different angles from which we're going to be talking about change. Depending on what your mix is in those situations, that's how you view change. If you started single, even a married person started single, and then they had to change things to build that family. Grew up in a large family. Well, I grew up in a family of 8. We've now had 3 deaths, and we're down to a family of 5. Grew up in a small family. Maybe you marry into another one and you grow, you have a new extended family, so on and on. The oldest, I am now the oldest. I grew up as the middle child, but now I'm the oldest. And there was a time where I was the youngest, but that didn't last very long because my sister was just born 10 months after me. So I was only the youngest for 10 months, okay? And then the middle child syndrome, where they act like we are the worst people in the world. But us middle children, we are the creators of the world. We make the difference. We bring it all. Okay, I'm sorry, wrong session. But we bring it all together. I love us middle children. And then you know what I like when I do this session too, because you've always got somebody who was an only child who clicked on all of those. Like when we get a chance to do it as a poll, instead of, since we can't do the polls within the breakout rooms here, but somebody who's an only child will click on all of them, and they should. But these are all the perspectives from which we'll be talking about change. And what do they all have in common? Well, they all have in common the reason that I created this session and called it the Masters of Change, embracing not just challenge, but success is challenge. Because today I want to challenge you and your definition of success and remind you that success challenges you and it changes you. So one of the things that we have to do is challenge ourselves to change our definition of success, because success challenges and changes us. We've allowed financial success to become the heading instead of the subset of success. So one of the first things we want to do to get success back to where it needs to be is let's first look at change as choices, hardships, accomplishments, negotiations, guidance, and empathy. Let's redefine how we look at change. See, each of these words conjures up a feeling of something that you did to survive. You had to make some choices to survive. You've been through some hardship, some accomplishments that you made. You negotiated your way through something. You've had the right guidance, and you felt for other people. Survival equals success. So in this limited time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to address accomplishments by sharing 3 of my stories of my LLEs, my life learning experiences. But before I tell you about that, you know me, I want to take one more poll. This one's going to be a lot easier, because what I want to do is I want us to look at accomplishments. And instead of using the heart and the thumbs up, we're going to use, do you realize that that little horn on your reaction is called ta-da? It's called ta-da. And then the one with the face with the tears coming out, we tend to think it's laughing hard, but it's called joy. So I want, yeah, there you go, Ramona. That's the joy. So I want us to use ta-da and joy this time as we go through some accomplishments. All right. So how many have raised children? Maternal not required. Remember, I'm an uncle of 33 nieces and nephews. Ta-da, I'm sorry, ta-da, if you've raised children, that it could be a joyous laugh though, couldn't it? All right, Mike, no, has not raised children, okay. All right, okay, tell me this, how many of you have graduated high school or college? By the way, yeah, it took me 32 years to graduate college. I started in 1973, misread the syllabus and decided to major in social life. then found out social life was not on the curriculum. So I had to get out of there. And I've been in and out of college actually 5 times before I finally finished online. And you know, one of the reasons I did finish online, think about change. I had a lot of kids that I spoke to, and they'd say, well, you didn't graduate college, you know, and you seem to be doing okay. Why do I need to get an education? I had to change my way of thinking about that so I can make sure I help them change their life, because things were different from me growing up than it was for them. So you think about your impact. See, the changes you make will touch somebody's life. Okay, here we go with the ta-da this time. I know I didn't warn us. Ta-da! How many either have played or have played a musical instrument? Quality not important, by the way. Play or played. Yeah, I used to play the cello. And yeah, I used to love, I thought I was going to be in the orchestra when I grew up. Okay. All right, get ready. We're going to use the joy again. This time, how many of you have relocated to a new state? I'm on my 3rd. I'm a native New Yorker. I moved to Chicago. I was in Chicago for 23 years before moving here to Charlotte. It's been 11 years now. Yeah, that's a joyful move, isn't it? Yes. Great. Okay, ready for the ta-da again. How many of you have either won a sports trophy or a non-sports trophy? See, sometimes we think trophies have to be about sports, but they don't. Don't we know that in Toastmasters, right? But awards, volunteering, serving on nonprofit boards, these are all trophies that we can be proud of. Okay, one more time for the ta-da. If you've helped through a tough time, hello and goodbye. But come on in, whoever you are.
Ta-da.
Okay. Who's that?
Yeah, this is me, Kenneth. Yeah, okay. I'm the one. Yeah, I've earned some. Yeah, I've earned some neat like leadership awards. Yeah, and like for being like a trailblazer too. And yeah, because in higher education for people with intellectual and IDD.
Okay.
I'm an award-winning motivational speaker and activist. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I'll slow down and let that happen again. All right. But give me, how about, what was that? That was that was Joyce. Time for ta-da again. How many of you have finished a crossword puzzle? And got it all right? Okay, I know I'm driving hard. Do you know I've actually only finished 1 crossword puzzle in my life? Yeah, but how many have done that? And the last one, this is ta-da again. How many of you have mentored someone? How many have mentored someone, not just in Toastmasters? And thank you, because you may have changed their life for the better. Let me also I also like to give tips on the way, especially in this virtual world. Now, we don't have access to the polls right now, the polling function. But if we did, if you put these in your poll before your session and let people mark on them, you're talking to them while they're filling it out. See, just as they say, oh, raise children, and I'm saying, well, not maternal, I'm an uncle. See, so you're telling them a little bit about yourself. And so the interaction, sometimes people want to get caught up in saying, well, it's virtual and you got to be interactive. Interactive does not always mean that you have to be doing something. It's mental. So this is one way you could be interacting with your audiences right away, just by giving them a poll, but put some stuff in there about it so they have a conversation with the questions, just like Kenneth, where he decided that question is for me. And it's time to stand out. That's the reaction that you do want to get. So thank you. So let's go back there. But can you also see that every single one of these accomplishments, give me a thumbs up if you think this is true. Every single one of these accomplishments leads to success that money cannot buy. This is a success that money just cannot buy these things when you do them. And that's why I say we've got to get success back to being the headline. So first, what I'm going to do is take you back to 2018. When many of you know, I competed in the International Speech Contest World Championship of Public Speaking here in Charlotte. And we don't have anybody who's not familiar with Toastmasters, right? Did we get anybody in here? Everybody's Toastmasters? Well, let me say it just in case somebody might walk in. and not know it. But what it's Toastmasters, the International Speech Contest, the World Championship of Public Speaking, it's a part of the the annual culmination of our international convention, which will be live again. But that year it was going to be held in Chicago in 2018. And like I told you, I moved here from Chicago. Over 4,000 people, members around the world, compete every year. And the numbers dwindle according to the level. So to get to the World Championship, every member must win at their club, area, division, district, and I'm going old school here. For the world champ. But in 2018, I advanced to the district level and finished second place of the 10 division champions here in Charlotte. After the contest, several people came up to me and expressed their pain, you know, and told me that they thought I did a great job and they really wished I had won first place and felt bad for me. But you know what was going on in my mind? The speech that I stood in front of my club the next week and told them that I was working on. And the speech is called, "You still have to win second place." You still have to win second place. Life lesson number 3. You see, we've allowed championship to replace accomplishment. We just went down a list of accomplishments that money cannot buy, but we've allowed first place as the only way that you've accomplished. But no, you still have to win second place. If you were at that conference, let me tell you this, there were 10 of us. I was speaker number 1. Now, there's some people in Toastmasters who have this myth that speaking order makes all the difference in the world. It makes some of the difference, but not all. Before the contest, when we were drawing numbers for speaking order, and I drew number 10, I said to the other 9 co-speakers, because I call them co-speakers, we put on a showcase at the district level. You're not competing, you're putting on a showcase. And I said to them, I'm going to set a high bar. Come catch me. And it's so cool because the next year when Kevin Johnson came back and he did the keynote at the conference, he talked about that. And I didn't realize how, you know, what went on in his mind when he said, but he talked about the fact that I said that and it made him say, whoa. He said, but then it did what I expected it to do. It made him step his game up. It made him realize I'm supposed to be here. And that was what took him. And so when I tell people, I say, well, you know what? He beat me by 1 point. He said, oh, really? You got the judges' scores? I said, no, I don't care if you beat me by 52 points. You only need to win by 1. All right. But here's where I was able to get that attitude from. As David said in my introduction, in '96, I went to the World Championship. I was on the big stage. And that's where I got the lesson that helped me be able to deal with this situation. You see, at the World Championship, when it was over, when I went back home, a lot of people said, you know, since Toastmasters only says 3, 2, 1, when I went home and people said, well, Sporty, how'd you do in the contest? And I told them I tied for 4th with the other 5 that didn't take 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Because what I found out is that we have to realize that we are always winners. And after the contest was over, my club members, my area, division, district, my family and friends were all coming up and hugging me and thanking me, telling me I was still their championship. So I found out that I won. In fact, that's when I invented my affirmation. I call it winning. I'm ahead of myself. Watch this. I'll come back to that. I want to tell you this. See, the blank screen reminded me that I met 3 types of people after the contest was over. The first type of person I met was the person that came up and said, you were great. Man, I thought you should have won. Second type of person came up and said, you were excellent. You should have at least been in the top 3. But then the third type of person came up, and this is the person that stayed with me longest. And I would invite you to let that person stay with you longer, because that's the person that came up and said, you know what? I really appreciated your message. I really appreciated your message. Life lesson number 2. We have to deliver our message. Each of us is in a spot or a position where someone needs us to deliver. And I call that getting a personal win, W-I-N, what I need. Each one of us has to get our personal win because we are someone else's personal win. We are somebody else's champion. And they need us to have a message that they can appreciate. They need us to let them be in that empathetic spot that takes them over the top and reminds them to keep on pushing. But that's what we've got to do, is get that personal win. And just like in 1996, in 2018, I had people come up to me and say, I really appreciated your message. I really appreciated your message. So let me take you even further back. Let me take you back to Chicago. And this is one of the funniest lessons that I've enjoyed in my life. In 1980, I began coaching community league basketball in Chicago. And in community league, the requirement for playing community league is that you can't make your school team. So it's totally instructional. I coached the 7th grade team, was my first time. I coached the 7th grade team. And because of my belief in the importance of self-control, I named my team the Controllers. In practice, I taught my boys that it was important to begin to control their emotions for future success, and that this lesson would become clearer to them years beyond having me as a coach. So before each game, instead of screaming and huddling and war cry, we would get together, press our hands together and whisper like a train coming into a station, control. We proceeded to lose all 13 of our games by 10 points or more. So I don't remember whether or not I switched to letting them scream, but I do remember that the following year, coaching 8th grade, I believed it was more important to let kids energize themselves with a hearty war cry. I also let them name themselves. And they chose to be socially conscious, and they called themselves the Troops, recognizing the prayers for our country dealing with the Persian Gulf War. We finished 4th place in our 16 division, crushed the opponents through the first 2 rounds of the playoff. And then in the final round of the playoff, in the championship game, we lost by 1 point when the best player in the league hit a 3-point shot from the key. Do you want to know about serendipity? The best player in the league, his name was Kevin Johnson. In 2018, when I won 2nd place, Kevin Johnson won 1st place. And I thought about that as I was putting this together. Actually, I'd never said that before, but it hit me because I always laugh when I say Kevin, and how could I happen to remember his name? He was the best player in the league and a wonderful kid. But let me tell you something. I got a personal win out of that, because when Kevin hit that shot with 12 seconds to go, Rick quickly turned to me and he said, call a timeout, coach? I said, right. Call a timeout and let us get one more shot. Life lesson number 1. You can call a timeout and get one more shot. Now, I already told you that we missed a shot. You know, I told you that we didn't win the championship, so we missed a shot, but it was a good shot. And we got the rebound. And the clock went off before the ball could come out of Alex's hands. But we got that last shot. What are you going to do to get your last shot? Because one thing that's always going to happen for your opponents is what happened with our opponents. They were scared. They were scared because they didn't understand why we didn't panic and give up. And because they didn't understand that, we kept pushing. And that's the reminder of the extension of lesson number 1, is that it's always too late to panic, but it's never too early to prepare. You have to prepare to be a winner. And it's not about panicking. You know, when I say I call them co-speakers at the district level, when I've been Toastmasters at the district level of division, I always said to her, I said, look, this is a showcase. We need 10 speakers to get out here and give our district a sample of what we've got. Because one of us is going to represent them at the next level. So let's get out here and show them what we got. I became great friends last year with Linda Marie Miller, you know, and I won third place. And again, there's the twist of the word. I didn't take third, I won third. And so that's what you have to do is always, and we think about what Kevin said earlier about, you know, the awards that he's won. He's won those, he's earned those. And that's what we've got to keep connecting to. So it's all important to just calm your spirit and take another shot. Because until time expires, your life is in your hands. It's in your hands. And the possibility of making you a winner. W-I-N, what I need. Take care of yourself and you'll take care of so many others. How do you define your personal win? You see, for my troops, being publicly crowned champion didn't define winning for them. How they played the game did. And each one of them went on to become members of championship teams, because I had them 8th grade and then I didn't follow them through. So they ended up on another team. And I stop right there to say to those of you in education, take some of that stress off of you. Your personal win is getting the student from your grade to the next grade. If you teach 5th grade, your job is not to have them graduate college. Your job is to get them to 6th grade. And so take that weight off your shoulder so that you can get that personal win and you can be proud of the steps that they take as a 5th grader instead of judging their character as a teenager. So whatever grade you are, and now it goes back to what we're talking about mentoring. It's every step, incremental, that's change. Enjoy every step and celebrate it with them so that they can get their personal win and they can crown themselves, and then you can crown yourself. And I think that the reason that they knew that they could get that last shot, because that's the key. I helped them understand, call a timeout and get another shot. They always knew, I can call another timeout and get another shot. That's what Coach Sporty told me. And they knew that when they did that, it's part of what I infused in them is what I infused in you, and I believe. You see, I never see myself as a loser. I never see myself as a loser. I define my accomplishments. I define myself by my accomplishments, so that I can always see myself as a winner. And I've had losses. I'm not telling you that you won't have losses. I've had losses. But one thing that I've never done, I've had losses, but I've never seen myself as a loser. You see, when you decide that you are a loser, losing is a state of mind where we willingly surrender to the possibility that we have more options. And when we decide that we run out of options, we decide to ignore our creativity, what we've accomplished to survive, and we bury our success. Never see yourself as a loser. Never. Because it's always about what step did I take. Remember when we were kids, did y'all ever play? You can take one baby step. In New York, we used to call it Mother May I. Mother May I take a giant step? No, take one baby step. Do you realize how stupid we were to think that we could win that game? You know, you knew that the only person that could win was whoever Mother May I was their best friend. But we really thought we had a chance. Oh, wait, oh, good, I can only take a baby step, but I'm getting closer. And then they let the next person take a giant step, and then you still stand, okay, maybe next time. Man, it was rigged. I digress. But here's a twist that I'd like you to consider. What we're going to do now is simulate breakout rooms. And instead of going to your room, you're going to go to your chat room. I'm going to give you 6 questions, and I want you to put in the chat whether or not you think that would be an easy question to ask. You would put an E. And if you think that would be a hard question to ask, you would put an H. Okay? So E and H, and David's going to monitor what's going on in the chat. I'm going to go slower on this one. Okay? Here's the first question. Do you think it's easy or hard to name 2 to 3 teachers who aided you through school? How are we looking in there, David? The E's adding up or the H's? BC, it would be hard for you, huh? Interesting. BC, why would the and I Stone, people who said it was hard, why would it be hard? Ooh, quite a few. Let me ask that question. Take a breath. How many, those who said it would be hard, why? Come off mute and tell us why.
Well, for me, it would be hard to limit myself to 2 to 3.
Okay.
I think many of my teachers in one way or another helped me to be who I am today.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
My reasoning behind it, I need a some type of map. I don't, I just can't recall stuff as easily as I did at one time. So I would need the map. Like I know I had a hard time in English in the 12th grade, but the teacher name was Claggett. I can remember Claggett. So I remember Miss Claggett real well. And I went to summer school so that I wouldn't take a class. So I got out of taking a class. So thank you. But anyway, I need it would take a while, but I would remember, I could remember more than 3, but it would take a while. I would have to have some type of, have to remember something symbolic about those teachers. Then, the name would pop up.
Okay, good. I just wanted to hear that. And I'm going to come back to why. You'll see why I stopped there. Let's go to the second one. Easy or hard to name the last 5 Heisman Trophy winners? That's college football, if anybody doesn't know. Would that be easy or hard for you? Oh God, BC Cooper said easy. All right, you are tearing it apart, BC. And we're going to come back. Third one, easy or hard? 2 people who taught you something worthwhile. Would that be easy? And as Tony said, we're only going to talk about 2. You can name 200, but just 2. Would that be easy or hard? Next question. It's the last 6 Academy Award winners for Best Actor and Actress. I'm not asking you to put them in there, but would that be easy or hard? I'm seeing the H's pile up on that one. Oh, go on, Patrick. Wow, we got us somebody who watches the movies. All right. Number 5, 2 more. 2 people you enjoy spending time with. Would that be easy or hard to name? Oh, man. Oh, those answers went there pretty quickly. That eased up on us, didn't it? And the last question, 10 people who have won the Nobel or Pulitzer Prize. Would that be easy or hard? Here's the pattern that we might have, we would semi be looking for. The even numbers are the harder questions. The odd numbers are the easier questions, but they all come from a bigger set of questions. How many remember know a person named Charles Schulz? He's the one who invented the Peanuts cartoon. And this comes from Charles Schulz's philosophy. Here's the whole thing. His philosophy says that you don't have to worry about answering the questions. He just wants you to consider them, whether they would be easier or hard. So the red ones are the ones I didn't put in the chat, in the questions. And the black ones are the ones that I did use. And it was just to get you through to read them and you get the point. The point is, as it says, none of them, no one remembers the headliners of yesterday. But these were not second-rate people. If you think about the five Heisman Trophy winners, people can name the 5 winners, but can you remember who won second? Can you remember who won third? So they were the best in their fields, but the applause dies, awards tarnished, achievements are forgotten, accolades and certificates are buried with their owners. That's Charles Schultz's philosophy. And that's why those questions were considered to be harder. But these are not people that we should be easily forgetting. But here's the second part of his philosophy. And that is those odd questions. And these, again, I took 3 out of the 6. And so you would just name them. And so look at that. You could also name 3 friends who have helped you through a difficult time, people who have made you feel appreciated and special. You probably have an easier time doing that. And what does he say? The lesson, the people who make a difference in our lives are not the ones with the credentials, the money, or the awards. They're the ones that care. Remember that personal win? What I need. The people who came up to me after the contest and said, I really appreciated your message. Those are the ones who we remember. Those are the accomplishments that cannot be bought with money. And so Charles Schultz said, don't worry about the world coming to an end today. It's already tomorrow in Australia. And that's just a reminder of the difference between the hard questions and the easy question is perception. And so often that's really all change is about. It's just about our perception. So based on that, I just want to again remind you, many people think that they are not masters of change because they see change as this huge thing, but change is very small and it's incremental. What I want you to do is remember the 3 lessons. Number 3, you can always call a timeout and get one more shot. In other words, believe in yourself. Call a timeout and believe in yourself. Number 2, I really appreciated your message. Oops, nope, I got that right. Know that your message is important and that it's impactful. See, somebody appreciates your message. Someone needs you to be you, and it's going to make a difference. That's the impact. That's why you see my background is the puzzle pieces, because life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece of every puzzle in your family, social, or business interaction. But no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. And so your puzzle, your impact on everyone makes a difference. And that's why lesson number 1, you still have to win first place. We need you to deliver who you are on a consistent basis. Compete against you. Because when you compete against yourself, and that's what I was teaching my kids, when you compete against yourself, you always win. Because you always get a little better than you were the last time. So constantly remember to compete against yourself or compete with yourself. And what I challenge you to do, again, is just change your definition of success. We have to embrace change in order to embrace success. Each of these words conjure up a feeling of something that you did to survive. Survival equals success. And what we have to recognize is that we are all masters of change, embracing success's challenge. And because of 2020, we found out that we were also maskers of change. And even in that change mindset, someone invented the trikini. So David may not be able to get that beer, but somebody can get a trikini if they like. Thank you so much for enjoying this session and your comments. We're going to take those now, but David's also going to drop the Charles Schultz PDF in the chat for you so that you can have that as well. And it will have my contact information if you'd like to keep in touch on social media. Heart emojis. Thank you.
I've just dropped that handout in the chat room. You've got that available. I'll be posting the survey link again. Sporty, the only question I've gotten so far is, whether we can share your slides.
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat room as well.
We as in the district. I was going to say, how you going to get them? Okay, because you're recording them. Yes, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
So are there questions for Sporty? Please feel free to raise your hand and ask.
Well, while you're thinking, let me ask you a favor. Even if your video is off, if you turn it on, I want us to take a screenshot, and I want everybody to put some kind of an emoji, whether it's a thumbs up or a heart, on the count of 3, and then I want to take a screenshot. And now, if you're on witness protection, let me know. And then, just like I'm sharing my slides, I don't want to share your picture if you're on witness protection. All right. So on 3. Everybody's going to put up some kind, and I'm going to wait till those go away, because those go away in 5 seconds, and then you got to put them back up. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, let's put them up. Oops, I got to put mine up. Oh, well, I won't put mine up. Yay, thank you, thank you. All right, back to questions. Thank you, Kavita. Yo, you have a question? You got your hand up?
Yes, I got a question. Oh, great job. Thank you so much. It was so enlightening for all of us to stay on track. So my question is, so David, where is the link? That would be good to have for the Schultz site. For some reason, I missed it.
Okay. So David, she needs the link again.
Okay, I put up the link to the survey just now. The feedback, is that what you're looking for?
No, she said she can't see the Charles Schultz link.
Is that the one you called Top Line Masters, the PowerPoint?
No, the PDF. Yes, yeah, it says master.
Okay, all right, I'll put that in again. I just did it a moment ago.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth. I see that. Thank you, Maxine. Oh, thank you, Margaret. I'm going to zip through and thank all of y'all unless you ask me some questions. Oh, you know what? Can we go back to the easy and the hards? We got a couple of minutes. Let's get some. Let's talk a little bit about those easy and hard questions. I love what what Tony said, but then what also BC talked about the teachers. If BC Cooper, I want to know, because you went against, quote unquote, what the grain would be. And you said it was easy for you to name the 5 last Heisman Trophy winners. Was that true?
Yeah, you got to just thank God for Google. Just
I didn't say find them.
Yeah, about 5. I can give it to you in about 3 seconds. I can tell you anything you want.
Okay, all right, yeah. See, we got to be clear, right? Oh, great. What about, did anybody else in any of those questions find something that they would want to share with us? And really, I'm talking about where it says this should have been a hard question, but you found it to be easy, or the ones that they said should have been easy, but you found it to be hard. That's what I'm looking for. Are you talking to us, Pamela, or are you singing? You're on mute. I saw your lips. You can't even apologize in quiet these days, huh?
I know.
Here you go.
I clicked on the survey and I guess I was reading the questions. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it so thoroughly that I'm like, I don't want to miss doing the survey so that I can. But it was really enlightening and entertaining and very, very educational. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, when you live by yourself, you talk all the time to yourself. It's just automatic that your lips are working. So
okay, which was that? The thumbs up? But you know what I say? Don't just live by yourself. Make sure you live with yourself.
And Pamela, I'm still waiting for those kids to move behind you. They're gonna move eventually.
yes, they're gonna come visit.
Great job, Sporty. Loved you.
Thank you, Ramona. Thank you.
Well, Sporty, just before we pull out here, I wanted to let you know the district will be sending you a small token of appreciation from the district in the form of a Toastmasters International gift certificate. And I'm sure they'll take care of getting your mailing address for that. As your host, I want to thank you. That was a fantastic way to start the symposium, and appreciate your giving us so much of your time and insights. Folks, I'll be holding the room open for a few more minutes if you'd like to just have an idle chat with Sporty or question, but we will be breaking up at the break so we can go into the next session in a timely way. Thank you all for your indulgence on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sporty.
Thank you.